Billionaire investor CHAMATH PALIHAPITIYA, the brains behind the internet investment firm Social Capital, has been investing in Bitcoin for nearly a decade. We don't know how much Bitcoin PALIHAPITIYA holds yet, but it's a massive number. Putting aside the humor, the man definitely believes in Bitcoin as a viable investment option. Should you invest 1% of your portfolio in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies now, as he suggests? Hey folks, welcome back to CHAMATH PALIHAPITIYA Zone. In today's video, we're going to explain why CHAMATH PALIHAPITIYA bought and still buys Bitcoin. Should you buy some? Before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure the post notifications are turned on so that you never miss a video from us. Without further ado, let's dive in. Bitcoin, which initially appeared in 2009, was the first decentralized peer-to-peer payment network to be created without the use of a central authority. Consider it online cash where no government has control over oversupply and no middlemen are involved in transactions. It's unsurprising that something like this has drawn the attention of law enforcement, been studied by business executives, and piqued the interest of investors and the general public. PALIHAPITIYA, one of the most outspoken proponents of the new digital money, isn't afraid to speak his mind on the matter.
This is a fantastic, fundamental hedge and store of value against autocratic regimes and banking infrastructure that we know is corrosive to how the world needs to work properly. You cannot have central banks infinitely printing currency.
PALIHAPITIYA sees Bitcoin as a hedge against enormous money creation. Given the extraordinary amount of fiscal and monetary stimulus in industrialized countries since the great financial crisis a decade ago, because Bitcoin's supply is limited and only 21 million can be in circulation. There's no structural risk of the currency being devalued by a single entity, which is a significant differentiator of the cryptocurrency. Inflation is projected to rise in the foreseeable future, while interest rates in many nations remain close to or even below zero. This indicates that our fiat currency will depreciate in value over time, which is nothing new. However, with global debt at record levels and continuing to rise, it appears that interest rates will need to remain low in order for governments to function. How much longer can large levels of debt be sustained? That remains to be known. Thus, PALIHAPITIYA recommends thinking of Bitcoin as schmuck insurance against global unpredictability. In a recent CNBC interview, PALIHAPITIYA stated, "Our leaders are not as trustworthy and reliable as they used to be."
There's so much asymmetric upside here. This is a thing that either goes to, at the time I said, roughly the value of gold. And at the time it was about $100 a coin, and so there's very little downside. There's all this asymmetric upside. I said, take 1% of your net worth and buy this schmuck insurance.
Furthermore, the fact that this cryptocurrency is not truly tied to any other asset strengthens his viewpoint. Bitcoin is entirely electronic, has no middlemen, and is controlled solely by its users. PALIHAPITIYA believes Bitcoin and cryptocurrency may eliminate friction and democratize the transfer of value without huge financial institutions getting in the way. Just as the TCP and IP protocol provided the foundation for the internet by offering a standard means for computers to communicate with one another. To put it another way, it's a method for any form of asset, anything with value, to be linked to one another. The majority of innovation occurs outside of the regulatory framework, and Bitcoin is no exception. To properly comprehend and appreciate the disruptive properties of cryptocurrencies, it takes someone as tech-savvy as PALIHAPITIYA, because there's no legal framework in place. Numerous organizations have been able to develop substantially in the cryptocurrency arena, creating products and services ranging from traditional banking to business social networking. PALIHAPITIYA wants Bitcoin to be one of these 4 or 5 things that I now become an expert in again. And if being a successful venture capital investor wasn't enough, he wouldn't invest the time and effort required to become a thought leader and advocate in the space if he didn't believe in the technology. In addition to holding Bitcoin, his firm, Social Capital, has invested in CryptoMove, a cryptocurrency security startup, giving him personal knowledge of the industry's future products and services. Bitcoin is slowly gaining popularity as a payment option and legal tenders of choice for many large corporations and countries. It'll need more supporters willing to put their necks out and promote its virtues if it is to become the real global currency on which so many people are betting. PALIHAPITIYA aspires to remain that way. Bitcoin's long-term purpose, according to PALIHAPITIYA, will be as a value store to rival or replace gold, while so-called stablecoins take over the dollar's position as an everyday currency for transactions, wages, tax payments, and so on. The ability to replace the dollar with a digital token with a steady value opens up a whole new universe of financial innovation. Bitcoin, according to Palihapitiya, is the canary in the coal mine for a new financial reality that is primarily virtual and anonymous. The digital revolution will most likely begin in emerging economies where government-issued fiat currency is unstable and banking systems are untrustworthy. Before expanding to industrialized countries, Bitcoin's market valuation is now hovering around $1 trillion, a far cry from the $9.3 trillion value of the global gold supply. At a price of around $500,000 per share, the leading cryptocurrency would equal the whole value of gold. As a result, Palihapitiya's perspective allows for a tenfold increase in Bitcoin's price. It appears irrational to pass up such a wealth-building opportunity. Many investors have explored alternatives to gold and other precious metals as hedging possibilities in light of recent events, such as the COVID-19 epidemic and more recently, the military crisis between Russia and Ukraine. As we get closer to a digital world, it is critical that gold alternatives be prepared for the future. Bitcoin, or BTC, has shown the brightest in the search for a competitor to challenge gold's reign. Bitcoin has increased in popularity in recent years, with countries such as El Salvador recognizing it as legal cash. This has prompted many businesses and individuals to see cryptocurrencies as a viable alternative to traditional money because they are free of high fees and regulations, as well as complicated taxation. We think this man is from the future, as he had predicted some of the crazy things even before they happened. Palihapitiya said this in 2017.
I think this thing is $100,000 a coin, probably in the next 3 to 4 years. And I think it is, in the next 20 years, $1 million a coin. So there you have it.
For the reasons stated above, Palihapitiya believes that everyone should invest 1% of their asset in Bitcoin. If it works out and obtains widespread acceptance, even in a tiny form, it may be worth many times more than the current price. If Palihapitiya's broad Bitcoin vision appeals to you, it won't harm to buy the modest fraction of a Bitcoin share today. Keeping the option open to buy more when the next large correction occurs, your Bitcoin investment should be tailored to your risk tolerance. Perhaps the cryptocurrency will eventually reach zero, but we believe it is more likely that we will witness large changing profits from this point forward. You are welcome to join the movement as CHAMATH Palihapitiya did in 2012. With this, we've come to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and hence should not be considered as financial advice. We all know that the crypto market is highly volatile, and by the time you watch this video, the prices would have changed to a whole new level. So all your financial decisions should be made after doing your wide spectrum research. Also, make sure that you like this video, comment down below your thoughts regarding the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on the latest crypto news.